Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Power Half Hour with me, Paul Simmons, and my amazing guest, Miss Katie Stoddart. And I hope I pronounced that correctly because, you know, I've been known to butcher names before and it's incredibly embarrassing. But thank goodness I got it correct this time around. But yeah, so if you are here live, please type in hashtag live in the comment section below. Or if you are here for the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay. Wow. So it's been a while since I've been on here. I think I had some things going on the last couple of weeks, but we're here. We're live and we are in color. So thank you again for being here. We have an amazing guest. She is brilliant on so many different levels. She's an award winner. Well, I'll let her explain who she is and what she does. But I just want you to know that you're in for a treat today because she is all the way across the globe tuning in live from where I always butcher this, so I'm gonna let her tell us where she is, so I don't put egg on my face. But without further ado, let's bring her on so we're not looking at me continuing to make an arse out of myself. Oh, there we are, and her head's cut
Hi.
off. Well, let's see if we can get her situated in here. Bear with me in the technicalities. Let's see. Maybe can you raise your camera up just a little bit? Is that
Sure.
possible? Yay!
So better.
There we are. Much better. Thank you, Katie.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me on. Thank you for the great introduction.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
in
that was
Sweden, in Sweden.
oh Sweden. There it is. Sweden, Sweden, Sweden. She's in Sweden. This is amazing. What time is it there?
It's 6 p.m.
6 p.m. All right. Well, it's 10 a.m. here in colorful Colorado. We're a little bit ahead of our normal scheduled time, but I wanted to make accommodations to you. And, we want to learn from what you have to offer. You are brilliant in helping business owners and professionals make use of their time, right? And structure their lives around their whatever, personal and professional. And why don't you just tell us what you do and how did you even get to where you are right now?
Yeah, so I help business owners to reduce overwhelm and reach their goals and find that work-life balance and be more focused. And so tune into peak performance in their business and thrive in their business and their lives. And I got there. It's kind of a long journey, but the very abridged version is I worked 5 years at sea as an engineer, as a hydrographer, and then discovered coaching, fell in love with coaching, started my own business, and then later on specialized in peak performance. That's the short version.
Well, you don't have to be too short. What led you to that this amazing coaching profession?
I think it's because I've always loved people and working with people. And when I was working at sea, it was very technical, analytical, software driven. And there were some bits that were fun, but I knew that in the long run, I was really passionate about people. So I went on this journey of exploration to try and find out what it is that I want to do with my life, one of these big existential crises. And then I discovered coaching, and it felt like a match made in heaven. It was really, I remember the first half an hour or hour at the coaching academy, the coaching school, and just thinking, how is it possible that I've lived all these years without knowing about this? I just loved it from the get go.
That's pretty fascinating because I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we kind of stumble into something that we didn't even realize we had a passion for, right? Um, and it's not really taught in school. At least not in American schools. It's not. There's not. Well, I guess you have classes for entrepreneurship, but it's not a basic fundamental class, and you learn so much as being an entrepreneur, right? That you didn't even learn in school. And it's
That's
kind
for
of
sure.
the age old question, like, why am I learning this stuff? I'm never going to use it. And sometimes that's true. Like sometimes you won't use the things that you learn in, fundamental school or the traditional school space. But what's something that you feel was an overlap? Maybe something that you did learn in traditional school that you can apply to your business.
That's a good question. I think there are things I learned in my job that I can apply in my business, from leadership skills to team management and just overall communication. At school, I would say I mostly learned how to work, as in how to work long hours extensively in depth. I work a lot less now than I did when I was a student. I think I'm compensating for having studied for too long. And I think it was always, yes, a great lesson in how to fail, because every time I would not do as well or succeed as well in different subjects, you would just learn and do better in the next exam. And because education is such a big deal in France, there's a lot of pressure around the grades you have and a lot of peer pressure around it. I think it really helped me to, yes, learn and cope with failure. So I think that those two things, that's it. Learning to cope with failure and knowing how to work and structure a bit my life and boost my, memory skills and stuff.
I love the fact that you said failure, um, because I think that's almost a dirty word, right? Failure. It makes you feel like you're less than because you didn't succeed. But I've learned that that's a natural part of growth, right? As children, you fail, but you're not left with this stigma of, oh, you failed, right? Like it's you learn. You're like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. Let me try it again. And I think taking that mindset and that approach to business as well is just a learning process, because you're not going to be great at anything you do in the beginning. I mean, some people are just, I mean, sometimes you're naturally gifted, but in the real scheme of things, you're not going to be successful right off the bat. It takes time to develop the skills and learn things that you can do and can't do, shouldn't do. Um, yeah. So enough about me. I do want to ask you about failure. Actually, what's something that you failed in your business that you were able to grow from?
The question would be, well, haven't I failed in my business?
I love it.
I think I think we always fail so often. I mean, wow, with things I've learned from. Okay, the easy example would be when I started my business, I made my own website with Squarespace, I think, and it was the ugliest thing I ever seen in my life. And I thought it was great. I was so happy. I never made a website in my whole life. I was like, oh, I have this website on Squarespace. And then years later, when I think back, it makes me cringe. It was absolutely horrible. And then I made it in WordPress, and then I remade it, and then I had someone make it. I think I'm on the fifth iteration, and now I want to redo it in Ghost. So constantly iterating. That would be one really off the top of my head easy example, because that's the first thing I wanted to do when I set up my business, was have a website and have business cards, and none of these are the most important, but that's what it felt like to me. So that's one example, but I think I probably failed at everything that you think I look successful in, because if I'm doing well in something, you can be sure that there's been some iterative failures behind.
That's great. I feel you 100%. I can't tell you how many times I've failed. What is something that you advise people that want to work with you? Like, what are some things that you look for when you want to take on a new client?
That's a good point. Generally, first of all, I look at what are they working on and how committed are they. So I only work with people that are highly committed, because That's how you get progress. And they're the sort of people I enjoy working with. So I can see generally from what they're talking about and their energy, how committed they are. And then it depends what they want to work on. So if it's things like work-life balance, overwhelm, clarity of goals, direction, bit of business strategy, all of this is aligned. If they came to me and they were going through a depression, that would not work. That's more for a psychologist, not for a coach. If they came to me and the main thing they wanted to focus on was their relationship, that's also not my main focus. Now, it happens that with some clients, a little bit here and there, their relationship comes in, they're business owners, everything is tied together. That happens. But if that's their main focus and the main thing they want to work on, same thing. That's not my main focus. And it goes on like that. So it would be if they only want to work on their marketing or they only want to work on their, certain aspect of their business that I happen not to be specialized in. So I wouldn't take on clients that aren't linked to what I enjoy working with and what I have the most experience on. And then the level of commitment. And I think just an overall match. I feel that pretty much you know quite soon if it's a good feeling or not. And it tends to be both directions. And it's a privilege to be able to choose who I work with and to not have to say yes to all the people who want to work with me. So that's also a nice position to be in.
Nice. So what would you say you do specialize in?
I would say I specialize in peak performance. And by peak performance, I mean both four aspects: the mindset aspect of things, the purpose, prioritizing and productivity, the work life balance, and also the overall sort of strategy and a bit of finance and business goals. So it really is mindset, business goals, work life balance, and purpose and productivity.
That's fantastic. What do you have any pointers for somebody who is feeling overwhelmed, right? Like I know that means so many different things, right? But say you have deadlines to meet. What's a typical overwhelmed situation that you frequently visit with clients? Is
So
there like a typical like, oh yeah, here's another one of these?
yes. So genuinely, it's a combination of several factors. One of them is obviously the amount of work, and the person who's overwhelmed only sees that aspect. So they think they're overwhelmed given the deadlines, the work, the clients, but that's only one side of it. The other aspects, of course, all to do with how they perceive their work and the psychology and the perception behind it. Very, very often there's either a hyperachiever, which means that your self-worth is dependent on the results. And when you have hyperachiever syndrome, it's very easy to feel overwhelmed and to feel that pressure. And it can also be linked to controller issues. So wanting everything to go in your control and it doesn't fit the way you want it to fit. And so all of these aspects. So the main tip I'd have for someone who's feeling overwhelmed is to know, and this is knowledge, that external circumstances and workload doesn't have to make you feel overwhelmed. So you have a choice in your perception, in the way you manage your energy, in the way you respond emotionally to the situation. You have a choice. So, and by changing your perception, by changing your beliefs, your thoughts, your ways of looking at the situation, that actually reduces overwhelm. So fundamentally, what I'm trying to say is two people with the exact same workload, identical, one would feel overwhelmed, the other one wouldn't. So there's no such thing as objectively someone is busy or objectively speaking, they just have too much to take on. No, it's a question of their perception, their energy levels, how often they take breaks, how well they sleep, how they're viewing this answer, and if they're taking everything personally and getting really upset. All of this influences feeling overwhelmed.
That leads me to this question. You are human. You also feel overwhelmed at some point in your life, right?
I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking of writing a post about how I never feel overwhelmed, but I thought people might take it the wrong way. Well, there's several things. So, because I have the privilege to manage my own business, I know what works and doesn't work for me. So I never do back-to-back calls. So I know some people in the corporate world, they have back-to-back meetings. I know that's uncomfortable and, have a bunch of ideas of what could help, but this is a bit different. So in my own business, I always schedule half an hour between each call or podcast interview or event. Now, if I have a day with a lot of calls, those breaks I take off. So I get up, I walk around, I drink water, I don't check email, I don't answer social media. I take those breaks off because I need the mental energy to prepare for the calls. So this really helps with not feeling overwhelmed. And then I manage my workload in a way that's not overwhelming. So I just manage it and manage my emotions. And I think I do have some feeling sometimes that is similar to overwhelm, but it's more sometimes just feeling emotional, right? So upset or frustrated or things like that for sure. But it's not that feeling of you have too much to handle. This I don't have. So I might feel upset a certain day. I might be a little less motivated and I work on my motivation. I might have, a bunch of emotions. I am human. But it's true that this feeling of like, oh, I have too much, I can't handle this. The only time I do have it is because I love new things and new projects and new ideas. And then I'm like, oh, I can't do all of them at the same time. But that's more like FOMO than
Mm-hmm.
overwhelm.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What do you see? Where do you see yourself in the future? What is your goal? What is your overall? Where do you want to see yourself in the future?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking, Paul, because I actually 3, 4, 5 days ago had a whole like pivotal moment in my business and my mind. And I'm now decided that I'm going in the direction of having a coaching agency. So over the last few years, I've been feeling it a bit difficult to work on my own with, a few people like my assistant and things like that, but sort of one woman show. And I thought, I'd love to have like a team. And I know so many fantastic coaches, so brilliant. I thought it'd be great to have an agency. And for now, the idea that I have is I would focus on corporate workshops and I would let each of them do their own sort of program and I would just facilitate, building the relationships with the companies and clients. Yes. So that's my vision and it's new because it's nice to review visions, but really excited about this.
That's cool. Yeah, I know you will. I know you'll do that. Um, just through this short. I know, and again, we haven't known each other for long at all, really. In fact, to be honest, I've missed a couple of my sessions because I was overwhelmed, and I I'm so sorry. I apologize for missing them. However, we will reschedule to have a consultation and figure out how to get my life in balance so that I can have peak performance.
Yes, nice.
And
Peak
again, I
performance.
appreciate you being patient with me. I had a question. Actually, I had a couple questions written down. Um, what is one secret tip or lesson you can share that would help someone get their desired result immediately?
To ask the question, what if this was easy?
What if it was easy?
We
Okay.
tend to complicate things and we derive some sort of satisfaction from making it complicated. So if you want an immediate result, stop looking at the strategy you already have. Stop asking people around you. Stop Googling it. Just sit down and think, what if this was really easy?
That was the most profound, simple answer I've ever heard.
See, sometimes things are easy.
Right? Sometimes the easiest things are easy, and that's crazy. That kind of actually leads me to another question that I like to ask all my guests. My one word that drives me is more. I feel like I can provide more value for my clients. I can always, even when I do something really great, I feel like I can always do a little bit more. I can do better. What is something that you want more of other than money in your life?
I think it's what I was saying earlier, a connection, a team, other people I'm working with. I I really love being offline and face to face. Not that online can't be fun, but talking to the US at the same time. But it's true that I miss the offline side of things. So I'd say more of a team and more of offline. So I'm really looking forward to keynote speaking offline, to workshops in companies offline. That's really exciting. This is what I want more of.
That's cool. Do you have any upcoming events that you're excited about?
A lot, but not not offline for now. I think I have to start looking for the offline opportunities and applying because things are slowly emerging. It's true that I haven't really looked that way yet, but I'm thinking as of 2022, I'm going to really direct my whole business offline. Not my whole business, but
Right, right,
more of my business.
right. Did you find that it increased your business, or did you feel like there was a hindrance with the pandemic? Did this expand you into a new realm virtually? Were you always virtual? Is this something you've always done? Or
That's a lot of questions in one go.
it is. I know. I'm sorry. I get long winded. Um,
No, I understand. So I wasn't always virtual actually when I just started my business in Barcelona, aside from having my website totally useless that no one ever read and my business cards, I did everything offline. So all of my clients were offline. I met them at Toastmasters, running clubs, networking. I did everything offline. And then I pivoted towards online and not long after the whole pandemic happened. So it was good that I'd pivoted. And I think it has helped my business, but probably not just from client acquisition perspective, but I think I've learned a lot more about how business functions since I've been online. So offline was fun, but it was very sporadic. And I think when we start to work online, we have to really think, what's my brand? What do I really do? Who's my target audience? And we have to ask all these deeper questions. I think it's helped me grow my business, not just from a client perspective, but from an in-depth, thought leadership, speaking, branding, marketing perspective.
Wonderful. I did have another question written down here. Let me see if I can find it. And you may not know this answer, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. What are the three big stats that would, excuse me, what are three big stats that would open the minds of your prospects and help them understand why they need your services?
That's a good question. It's definitely a question I should have like written because there are some people that are really data driven. I think it could probably be first of all, one around how when we're overwhelmed or not taking any breaks, how it impacts productivity. Now, I don't know the exact number, but I have written quite a lot about this in my book. I should remember the stats I write about in my book, but I don't. But around that's why I stopped being an engineer. But around the analytical aspect about, yes, taking breaks and this sort of thing, I think it's something like, oh, there was one study also that showed that if we work more than 45 hours, I think a week, or 50, then the productivity dramatically decreases. So basically, if you're working 50 hours or 70 hours, you're not really achieving more in those extra 20 hours. So something around the hours worked, breaks, how that impacts productivity. Not sure what others would be, but something else that I think isn't necessarily tangible is happiness. And I feel that when we have peak performance in our business and we're thriving, we're just more happy. And I'm not sure I could put a number on this. It's a feeling.
Do you do you read, obviously you read books, but what books are you reading right now that inspire you?
Actually, I'm reading a great book right now. I'm reading The Big Bluff by Maria Konnikova.
Ooh,
And
wait,
it's
the big blurb?
the big bluff, like bluffing in poker.
Oh, bluff. Yes, 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 yes. Big bluff. All right, I got to write these down cuz I want to devour books. The big bluff.
I have a list if you want more books.
Oh, I'll be reaching out. The big bluff. Awesome. Can you tell me more about that, please?
Yes, it's excellent. So she explains how she used the ability of poker. She taught herself with a mentor poker in order to see the ratio between skill and chance. So there's a lot about psychology, there's a lot about chance, and there's a lot about poker. And it's such a great read. I mean, I think she's a fantastic writer. It's thrilling, it's fun, it's yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. And there's psychology, which I love, and there's poker and flush and this and that. I still have a bit of a mathematical
So wait, are you?
inside.
Does that mean you're a poker player?
No, but I really want to be. I was reading this and thinking, man, I wish I could bluff like that. And would I be able to read, people facial expression or their body language? Because apparently it's a lot more in their hand gestures than it is on their face.
Mm.
So she explains in Thai studies, a lot of stats in there. And she explained that it's a lot more about how we move our arms or our hands than it is on the face. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to try it out. I mean, I know the basic rules, but I've never delved into it.
That's awesome. I used to be a big poker player. I haven't played in
Really?
quite some. Yeah, I love. It's a thrilling and exciting, and it's a crazy game. It's so many emotions, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat and everything in between and suspense and it's amazing. So I highly recommend it, but be careful because you might get hooked and that could be a bad thing unless you're really good at it. But I did want to ask you what keeps you motivated? What makes you wake up just hungry to serve?
That's an interesting question. What keeps me motivated? I think it's a combination of both the long-term vision, but if I'm perfectly honest, long-term vision has never been what motivates me most. So I think it's somewhere like the percentage of my motivation, but it's probably not the highest because it's long-term and I'm a sort of immediate short-term person. And so I think it's a combination of different projects or people I'm working with, and then who I'm going to see during the day because I actually go to a co-working space. So I look forward to the people I'm going to see there. I look forward to the activities I'm going to do. I think it's just adding a bit of fun and joy in everything I do. So I've taken up again dancing recently that I really like. Seeing some friends this evening. Had lunch with a few people, my co-workers. I just there's always some fun and entertainment and learning. I think as soon as I don't learn anymore, that doesn't work too well. So the moment I'm learning Swedish again, and then obviously I'm constantly learning for my own business and listening to podcasts and reading and taking on trainings. And I love all of that. So all those things keep me motivated. And I think all the results. So every time I do something and someone writes a nice message or contacts me, or yeah, just seeing the results is always nice.
Wonderful. So I want to share with our viewers your website. Let me see if I can get this to act right. I was having some technical issues, but let's see. Here we go. Cross our fingers. Boom. Up. Do we see it?
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
So this is your LinkedIn. So people can find you on LinkedIn. If
Yeah,
you
that's the best place to reach me. So if they want to contact me, Katie Stoddart on LinkedIn is my favorite way of being reached out to.
let's see
Let's
if I
put it
can
that
make
way.
it bigger. Yeah, and then if you want to find out more about what she does, that's awesome that you have a video. Hello, I'm a video professional, and this is huge. Have you noticed any? Has anyone commented on having a video? Does it help explain what you do?
Yes, people have said that they liked it, or the fact that all my different clients spoke different languages. People have commented on that. So I think they enjoyed it.
And you can. She's Facebook page. Up there's your picture.
Yeah,
Um,
Facebook page, either the Focus Bee or Katie Stoddart, and same on
okay,
Instagram.
and
Yeah.
you also have a YouTube, so you
Yes,
can
I do.
you can learn about. And you just posted something.
Yeah,
Apparently,
today, yeah.
that's awesome. And obviously your Twitter, excuse me, Instagram, sorry, Instagram
Yes,
account. You
Instagram.
can
Yeah,
follow
yeah,
on
yeah.
Instagram. I don't know how I'm not following you, but that's changed right now. But yeah, we are up to the half hour mark, and I don't want to keep you any longer than necessary. I love having you as a guest. Let me see if I can get you back here. Let's see. Boom. All right, there she is. Katie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to little old me. It means a lot, and I know we're on the time difference kind of presents a little bit of a challenge as far as scheduling is concerned, but you are a wonderful guest, and I love your spirit. You shared a lot of great information, and I want to thank you again so much for
My
being
pleasure,
here.
Paul. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
lovely talking to you. I loved the interview. Great questions. Got me thinking with the three stats. I should
Well,
write them down.
right. You're like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have some stats on hand, right? Not that those come out all the time. It was just something that I felt was fitting. But again, thank you so much. And thank you all for viewing the Power Half Hour with me, Paul Simmons, and my lovely guest, Katie Stoddart. Please tell me I said that right.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Whew. All right. 2 for 2. Yes. Thank you guys again. Can't wait to see you on the next Power Half Hour. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Boom. There that is.
Nice. Well, thanks. That was great. I really enjoyed it.
Ah, thank you so much. I was kind of all over the place, but I was kind of frazzled a little bit because my systems weren't working. You saw I was fumbling through getting the screens up and running, but we made
Looks
it
pretty
through.
good. Well, looks pretty good. It's still recording at the top, but that's just your Zoom, right?
Say that again.
It's still recording at the top, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
just your
that's the
Zoom.
Zoom, just in case we happen to say something fun that can be used later. Actually, I want to start doing this if you don't mind. Would you give a shout out to the Power Half Hour?
Yeah, how do you want me to do it?
I
Just
don't,
say
whatever.
like a big shout out to the like that, or
Say, I had a great time
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll
whatever.
do that. Okay, go on. Three, two, one. Had a great time on the Power Half Hour. Absolutely fantastic being interviewed by Paul Simons. Real pleasure. Wonderful to be there.
Perfect. Except for you butchered my name. It's Paul Simmons.
I'll do it again. Simons, I said.
it's
Like Simon,
okay.
I said
It's
Simmons.
okay.
Oh, or
Thank
you
you.
could make a note. Katie butchered my name.
Right? Because I sure the hell was gonna butcher yours. So I thank you. So whenever you're ready, if you don't mind.
Cool. Three, two, one. Had a fantastic time on the Power Half Hour. Wonderful being there with Paul Simons. Was that correct?
Nope, Simmons.
Simmons, like Simmons. Okay, I get it. I get it. I was thinking, no, that was wrong again.
Simmons.
Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Simmons, like Siemens. Simmons. Okay. Had a fantastic time on the Power Half Hour with Paul Simmons. It was absolutely wonderful. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Thank you. And guess what? I'm gonna put that on the bloopers. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't do you like that. But I do actually. What I was thinking is you had some fantastic answers, and time permitting, I'd like to cut up some of those answers and share them with you. You can use them or not use
Be
them.
great.
Again, this
Absolutely.
is just
I will use them. You to give me content, I use content.
cool, cool, cool. So I'll try to cut up some of those nice answers. Well, all of them are great answers. But yeah, whatever you feel is useful, I'll cut that up for you
Yeah,
and share it
whatever
with you.
you particularly find relevant, and then I'm happy to share it.
You are amazing. Thank you. I know it's getting late over there, so I'll let you. I meant to ask you if
Cool.
you are you a dog or cat person?
I love both.
Do you
I'm
have
one of
either
those
one?
people. No, I'm one of those people who love both and have neither.
Did you have both when you were growing up?
No, I had neither growing up. I
Wow.
quite like the idea of having both a cat and a dog, but I don't have any, and I didn't have any growing up. Now I don't have any because I live in a flat, and growing up, my parents didn't want. So, how about you? Cat or dog?
I am 100% a dog person. My I lost my buddy a couple months ago, which was devastating.
Love. Mm.
And I'm like, do I want to get another dog? Like I've been on
Mm.
the fence about getting another dog. It's just so hard. He was so special. Like he was so unique. His personality, everything. He was just an amazing pup. So I don't know, but I am a dog person, and I'm growing to like cats. I grew up hating cats. I was allergic to cats.
Mm.
So and I had a terrible experience as a cat. I was at my cousin's house, and we had just gotten out of the bathtub, and I had a towel wrapped around my waist, and he had this cat that we would torment all the time, and we locked eyes, and it just gave me this weird look, and I was like, oh my god. And I had nothing but a towel on, and I just turned and I started running, and next thing I know, I feel claws all on my back, like the cat was hanging on my. Oh, it was horrific.
That would put you off cats.
Yeah, it scarred me, but I had it coming. We, like I said, we would torment this cat. We'd throw it around and whatever, and I was allergic to him, and yeah. But anyway, I'm a dog person.
I can tell. Okay, well,
Get out of here.
thank you for
Thank you.
having me. When do you want to book the call? Because
Oh
why
yes,
don't
let's
we
do that.
let's do that compared to exchanging emails? It's always
Sure,
faster,
sure,
right?
sure. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. Thank you, Katie. Sorry about that.
No
Um,
worries.
Next week is my birthday. This Friday I have a shoot. Thursdays. Uh, Monday. Oh, you can see my
Cool.
calendar. Yeah, you can see
Oh,
this.
wait, I was actually looking at mine, so I can't see it. Yeah,
So I have
it's
I
too
have
small anyway for me to see.
I have
Can you do Monday? Can you do 9 your time? I think that's
9
fine.
a.m.
Yes, 9 a.m. It's never going to be
Oh,
p.m. because that, how would that work actually? What would be, oh yeah, what would be late your evening? What time would that be for me actually? I haven't thought of it that way.